the paper. Stack your paper. Yeah, bad man, she love me, not raper. Stack your cash by the pound, we are workers. Carry Glock run the town with a laser. Navigator to the money blaze gun. Get to you with a lot of determination. Nothing make some. I'm in occupation. To every youth where you try and make it up, you stay strong. In the road wicked, but we build for this big rim spinning. King for the city when you see we you see riches and we got the pretty girls too. You say them know I inside of the motion. Skilly of the wave, not the ocean. Run the whole place, not a potion. We getting the baby, and we getting the baby, and we getting the baby. anybody. Person will see me, now in me I see. Uh, 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 Living my life, mi ò ṣá o. Pàdé mi ra bí o. Ceux qui sont pas insta. Street love, money, my life. Jeune africain congolais ambitieux. Je ressens quand même une douleur malgré ta présence. Reçois quality, vibe, my guy, mamacita, il me reste peu de temps pour toi. Je sais pas où je veux passer la night, vers Makala ou Marbella Bella. Près des îles ou des favelas, hélas, hélas. Je sais pas où je veux passer la night, vers Makala ou Marbella Bella. Près des îles ou des favelas.
I'm having an issue with my from my end. I don't know. I'm having an issue on this side. My Wi-Fi is showing me low percentage. I connected to the second Wi-Fi. It's still showing. Okay, it's coming up a bit now, but it's the video file. Is the sound? Can you guys hear me clearly? Let me know if you can hear me. I can see messages. Greetings, guys. GM, everyone. I want to be sure that you guys can see the screen, so I want to share my screen now. Come in, and that you guys can hear clearly. I don't know how it shows on your end. Okay, but the network is very interesting and it's kind of slow on my end. Well, let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. The icon says yes, boss. I can hear and also see the screen. Camnut solution says yes, boss. Fantastic. Okay, okay, okay. Great, great, great. Ooh, hoo, 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 hoo. Right. It's piecing me off. Just coming from X to here, GM shift is clear. Yeah, interesting. That's good to know. Yeah, I think it's going to be clearer on YouTube than on X because I don't know. X has some kind of settings that either reduces the quality, I don't know, something like that, and you may need to. But on Twitter, there's a way you can set it on Twitter, and then it shows up better. Okay, but that by the way, so I made a tweet this morning, right, on my Twitter. So if definitely for those who are following me on my Twitter, you should definitely have to like seen the tweet where I tweeted that I am looking at Bitcoin to 133,000 in 3 to 4 weeks max and 143,000 in 4 to 6 weeks max. So these are like my targets. And I said I'm going to explain why I'm looking at 4 days and what I'm expecting for on this on our live stream, which we just getting started right now. And so we're going to look at technical, right? We look at technical, what I'm looking at, conferences, technical conferences, and then we're going to look at what's it called? Then we'll look at fundamental conferences, right? Most of you know that I am a confluence trader, so I trade based on both a combination of fundamental analysis and technical analysis, and as well as sentimental analysis, right? I combine these three to make my decisions, right? To trade, obviously. So maybe if you're watching this for the first time, maybe someone sent you this video, you've seen it, this video. Welcome to listen to Shifu. Shifu, obviously, it's Shifu. It's the most accurate Bitcoin analysts to ever walk the earth in this world. There is no second Shifu world. There is one Shifu world, and that is me. And being the best doesn't mean you are always right. But being the best means you're more right than wrong, right? So there'll be times where you're wrong, but it means you're more right than wrong, right? And you'll have the opportunity and privilege to watch this or see this because you are listening to the best when it comes to this in the world. And let's begin with technicals and what I'm looking out for. So I'm going to share that screen and make it a bit bigger while I make myself smaller. Let's look at Bitcoin first of all. So looking at Bitcoin, then that's where we're starting. So obviously, right? Obviously, you can see here most of the predictions from previous weeks. Now, if you go on the Telegram, right? If you are on our Telegram, by chance you're on a Telegram for any reason, right? For any reason, you can. I posted what's it called on our Telegram. You can see there the direct links of every prediction I've given for every week in the past 6 weeks. For the past 6 weeks, it's all there on Telegram. Before it's played out, I posted every single thing, week after week, week after week, week after week, and for 6 straight weeks, we haven't even gone wrong in one of them. Every single thing has been spot on, week after week, week after week, week after week. That is why I'm Shifu World. The results, I always believe that the results should speak for themselves. You can argue with one, right? You can argue with two, but you cannot argue with the result. 1 + 1, you can't argue with it. Why? Because 1 + 1 equals to 2, and results don't lie, right? Numbers speak for themselves. Men can lie, women can lie, but numbers, statistics, data that is out there cannot speak on them. And that's why we have an AI age where people are depending on AI to get and source data, right? We are in the future, and the future relies on credible data, right? People can falsify things, but you can't falsify data because it's all physical, available, it's there on chain, and everything we have been doing, everything Shifu have been saying, and that's why I started with the statement that being the best doesn't mean you don't get it wrong. There are times I have gotten it wrong, but being the best means that you get it more right than wrong, right? and that we have seen consistently that I've been doing over the years, getting it more right than wrong. So let us start with okay, back to this. So you can see here most of the major trades and amazing trades have taken on Bitcoin here, right? And then we've got this as the key entry, right? This is the entry which I dropped for this. The first target is 118. So probably this week the first target is going to be hit. This week we're entering right now for Bitcoin. The first target is going to hit, and then there's another target which is way above there, right? Which if I'll use a bigger screen for you to see that target, right? So we've got all these are major points. Each major points we've gotten it, right? There's something I'm timing for next year. It's gonna be next year. I'm planning to do that next year. It's gonna be a generational trade. It's a trade I'm gonna do publicly. I'm gonna enter at the peak of when Bitcoin, when the bear market, the bull market is over. I'm gonna enter that Bitcoin peak, and I'm gonna enter that trade with $10,000 publicly. So to be a public trade, right? You know, this kind of trade are generational, and I'll hold it to for months, right? I'll do that publicly, but that's gonna be next year. But that before that aside, so we're looking at this. This is where I said it's like the 143. This is like 143K, right? So this like 6 RR here, 3 RR here. But the 3 RR on is definitely going to be hit this week, and then we're looking at this sometime in November being hit completely. But this is a swing trade, right? So if you're in this swing, you're definitely going to be on good amount of money. You're definitely going to be in good profits if you have been on this swing for me. See, one thing you should know that I don't do, and maybe if you're new here, is I don't care about what any other person is saying. I don't care whoever you're listening to on Twitter, on YouTube. I don't give a fuck about them, right? I'm not following any of them to depend on whatever they're saying. What I'm saying is from me, directly based on me. I am Shifu Wealth. There's no Shifu Wealth, right? Everybody could say is going to 90K, is going to 80 DCK. That is their cup of tea. I see what I say and I do as I say. Most of the people you've seen who I have mentored, who are doing so well in their trading, one thing I've always taught them is know how to know yourself, right? Know thyself, know thy capacity. Don't think that there's someone out there that is better than you or that is doing because of whatever they are posting. Know how good you are, right? Be humble, but don't don't belittle how great you are. Don't belittle how amazing you are. Never do that, right? Never do that. Stay it. If you're wrong, you're wrong, right? If you're right, you're right. If you're wrong, you're wrong. If you're right, you're right, right? And when you're wrong, you look at what is making you wrong. You work on it, you get better, and that is how you improve yourself over time, right? Not because of, and that is why if I'm taking trades, it's either my trades or trades of people I've mentored myself, right? Because they do as I do. Okay, let's make this. So let's look at technicals, right? We'll look at the weekly time frame. First of all, we'll look at the weekly time frame, and I don't even know how to kick this panel off. I really want to take it out of my trading view, but I have to manage, and then obviously you guys will have to manage it. So I'm adding the SRSI, which is the stochastic RSI. This is one of the tools I've been using this for. I started using this in 2018, right? So 2018, 2019, 2018, 19, 20, 20, 2021, 2022, 23, 24, 25. Started using this for the past 7 years, and it's been very, very good. Most of the people who I personally mentored, definitely you've either heard me talk about this over time, and a lot of them are currently using it. It is not a prediction tool, right? It is a confluence tool. It just adds confluence to other bases you have, right? You don't make this one based on it alone. I need to add that disclaimer. You add confluence too, so right. You hear that most of the people who have like joined my sessions or so, where I brought some of my mentees to teach themselves, you've heard them talk about this too, right? Which all of them they're definitely using. Anybody, as far as anybody in Africa you ever see using this too, anybody out of Africa, regardless of the country they are in, has either learned how to use it from me or learned it out from somebody I have taught to use it as well, right? So if you look out here in 20, let's take a look from let's give it like a very proper detailed look. So this was in 2022, November 2022, when I forecasted the bottom and I said Bitcoin will never come down below this level again. This was in November 2022, the second week of November. I predicted that Bitcoin is going to bottom and Bitcoin is continue moving from there. And from when I gave that prediction and that forecast on Bitcoin, we've seen Bitcoin moved astronomically, just as every time I have always done accurately and being the best at what I do. We've seen Bitcoin move over the years to over 780%. Over 780% from 2022 to 2023. That's an astronomical gain anywhere. Now, not to factor in the terms of cryptos and altcoins that has moved very well since then. Now, this also should give you some level of perspective. And when I'm talking about perspective, I'm referring to the fact that a lot of people are waiting for the mega massive run. Meanwhile, while they are seated waiting, a lot of people are making so much amount of money because whether you like it or not, the bull run has been running since November 2022 to date. It is not about to start. It has been on. It has been on. Whatever you see that is about to happen or is going to happen is just going to be the last phase. It's the last phase. So if you, it's the, should I say, the last phase of whatever is your illusion or whatever that's been taught or whatever that's been said. What you're seeing is the last phase. When in a normal context, a bull run is when the market forms a higher and a higher low, and Bitcoin has been forming higher high and higher low since November 2022. So from 2023, 2024, 2025, for the past 3 years, we've been a bull run because altcoins and everything has been going up. Check every coin, the price of any coin you see right now. Check where the price was at in November, December 2022, and where the price is right now. You know that the prices very different, right? Very, very different. So whatever the last bit of whatever is going to take place, right? And once Bitcoin peaks, it's going to go down for months, and then by November 2026, Bitcoin should most likely, right? And another now, and I've been whatever you want to bullshit. They are you to follow bits of the market. This on what's on You're correct. It's breaking. It's not from. It's not from you guys' end. It's from my end. It's breaking. It's breaking. It's from my end. It's not from your end, guys. It's from my end. I had to. I've done the third method now. I've decided to connect the router directly to the PC. So I think this should be better. I think it shouldn't be breaking it on, guys. It's from my end, guys. It's not from your end. It's from my end. It was I disconnected for a second or so. Can you hear me? No, don't worry. I'm not rescheduling. I'm not rescheduling. I'm not rescheduling. Let me be sure that you guys can see and hear. Let me share the screen as well back. Pinnacle said it's working fine. Is it just him? I want to be sure it's working fine for the rest of you guys. So I'll have to you have to drop a comment so I know, and then we can proceed. Or should I say I can proceed? Okay, so let's focus on this. So we can see the movements, what happened here. And look at this, the stochastic RSI, how it moved here. It picked here, it came down. Then if we decide to focus on here, it came down, and then here it picked December 2024 again. December last year picked here, and then so let's just focus on this timeline, right? Let's focus this horizon markets this year, which was where I talked, and that was when we did the zoom. Right, it brought to my cursor a bit. So this is there, and then finally, let me add this. Finally, April, right? February, move the bottom April, where it's picked higher, 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 low, higher, high, higher, low. And now look at something. If you see here on the indicator I'm using below the screen, you will notice that the first time it dropped, it moved the first move, you would feel like it wants to be down the second time. Now the fake out, which now leads to the beginning of the fake, and that run took us from around 7th of April 2025, October, right? September into October, where the market peaked, right? September to October, the market peaked. So it gave, how many months was that? It's showing 182 days here. This is April, May, June, July, August, September, October. So about 6-7 months, right? So about 6-7 months, we got this. Now, attention to this first. So the first time we had the drop, move this one that shows this. So let's look down again. Press I am using. The first time the drop was in September. Then give an all-time high, which was, like I said, it will make it will fake it, making it feel like it's going to go high. And this is where everybody was predicting 150k, 200k, 180k, and boom, everybody's hope will be shattered. And the shattering is so heavy. And I think I few person, I said it like this is gonna happen. I gave the data. This is what's gonna happen. I don't know if it's gonna like be in black swan event, but everyone looking fine. It wasn't looking well to me, so I knew that something bad is definitely gonna happen, right? And I said this is what is gonna happen ahead of time, right? So, and I sent it to those PWM, and then those who are also PWM, portfolio management, corporate private portfolio management. Those who I deal with one on one, right? And I get very early before I get to even. This is what again I gave them the dates of what is going to happen, and we saw this. The exact date I gave them, that was the Friday, and we saw this happening already, and this was it. Now, if you look here, so that's why I said using this alone is not like, this is not the prediction. This is just a confluence. It adds to the other things used involved in it, right? I think maybe next year I don't know when, I don't know if I will have the time, but maybe next year I'm going to organize for the first time, because I've not done this for the past 5 years. I stopped doing this. Maybe I'm not sure, right? I don't know if I'm going to have the time, but if I have the time, and maybe I'm going to organize for the first time a trading masterclass that's going to run for like 1 month. Maybe I'm not sure, but I may get to do it if I have the time next year, where I'm going to like basically teach people my secrets, how I predict Bitcoin, right? How you can literally use what I'm going to teach to be predicting Bitcoin week after week, week after week after week. And I'm definitely and then how I do these things, right? A few times I've also done it for gold, how to predict these things as well, right? It's definitely something you've never heard anywhere else in this world, in this life. Nobody has ever taught you, because the secret I learned that was taught to me in the dream, and I've been using it personally myself, and I'm definitely going to teach it out if I have the time, right? So it's something that was given to me uniquely, the same way that different unique things are given to different persons, right? Over time. So people could literally just replicate it personally for themselves. So you have like confidence, you just know when to size in and when not to size in, right? And for people who want to use it, there are a lot of people using what I'm teaching or saying to make money, right? So people can even use by the time you go through that training, and then you receive a Shifu Light certificate, you become a Shifu Don. They'll be like, there's a category of people that only these people knows what is going to happen in the market before it happens. Be that it's forex, or it's stocks, or it's crypto, whatever. It's going to be based on that. So let me highlight it and make it a bit big, right? Bit bigger. So if you look here, this has happened, and this was what this destroyed a lot of people. This means the same thing you saw here that happened for how many months or so, that the next one is about to happen here, right? Based on the weekly time frame. So I believe we can see the weekly picture now, and based on the weekly time frame. So what you see me here targeting, all these things you see me here targeting, is actually smaller targets. So this is the way. So when one of the ways to like get a very good target on a larger time frame is, depends on how you have like your Fibonacci settings, right? So you just use Fibonacci, right? So usually there are two settings, right? If you're using your Fibonacci, there's the -0.27, which gives you like an earlier target that's when the retracement is light. So if the retracement is not below 0.618, if it's just above that or so, this is the target. This is where market gets there and then retraces. But if the retracement is deep, like very, very deep, very, very deep, then you're looking at this target, right? So we're going to touch 143K, 143K. So it's actually very, very easy. If you have depends on your Fibonacci setting, right? I set mine to be this way, so it easily just picks my targets for me. That's right. So 143K is like very, 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 very easy target. To be honest, I don't see any reason why Bitcoin should not come back to 100,000. It may happen, right? I mean, like I said, I could be wrong. Oh, there are people who are saying that he's going to this, he's going to that, blah 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 blah. Sometimes also, I've got friends, right, who add me to some of their groups. Sometimes personally, I just mute those groups because the groups they can be too noisy, and they can. My WhatsApp is a mess. My Telegram is a mess. My Discord is a mess. So sometimes they just add me to their groups as well. So sometimes it's a lot. It's a lot. I don't really know. So, but if you look at it, the different people say different things based on what they're expecting. It's fine. But one thing you should understand most times is, um, there's fears, right? There's fears, and like there's a phrase that says that buy when everybody is fearful, and sell when everybody is greedy. What is happening right now is that everyone is fearful. Everybody is fearful. That's what is going on right now. Everyone is fearful and very, very uncertain. And that's the time people don't want to buy. That's the time people are locking up. But it is time those who are wise are making money. They are making money. Okay, look at the COAI, for example, which it dropped. Even when I dropped COAI, when it dropped to $5, it moved and touched $25 yesterday. That's another round of 5x. So anybody who bought COAI would have made 5x, 500% of their money within the past couple of days. When some people are killing themselves waiting for this, you've already making a whole lot of money. A whole lot of money. There are so many things I don't even post. Like if I share the trade I took on COAI alone, you would have seen how many 1,000% I made personally. I could literally post that when I want to post that. But there are so many people's results and testimonies that I told my team to be posting. I'm not even ready to start posting my own personal profits. It's in the past couple of days. I said I wanted to make 100 BNB. Already I've done over 400 BNB. In the space of whatever has been going on, I've done over 400 to 500 BNB currently already. So that means I should be, my next target now is 1,000 BNB. And the whatever craze that people are waiting for has not even happened though. What is going to happen when it now happens? Right? So, like I said, it's all about how hungry anybody is. If you're ready to like lock in, I have a target. The way I'm hustling right now, I'm locked in like somebody who doesn't even have one kobo. I'm locked in like somebody who hasn't even seen $1. And that is the way to actually do it. Because look at the industry you are in. There are people in this industry who are worth $50 million, $100 million, and you're seeing them like being active every day. They are trenching. They are so locked in, even with how much they have. Look at what happened during the liquidation. You're seeing some people who are liquidated $50 million. Someone liquidated $20 million. Someone liquidated $30 million. That's a lot of money for some people. That's life-changing money for some people. Why are they liquidated that? Because they are trenching. They are locked in, even with whatever amount of figures. So you are still yet to maybe see your first $1 million or yourself $500,000. How locked in are you? How locked in are you? How locked in are you to maximize opportunities and seasons? Remember, the secret to people being super wealthy and rich in this life is not necessarily wisdom, right? Because somebody can be wise and be poor. So wisdom is not the answer to having financial progress and success. It's not it. If wisdom is the answer, there are so many intelligent and smart people in this world that are supposed to be. I've always been smart and intelligent in my life, always coming out best in class. The day my eye became open and cleared was when somebody who came into my life, I can never forget. I wrote that as a thread series that was on Facebook. There's a series I did in Facebook called The Woman Who Changed My Life. How did she change my life? She walked up to me, this was a couple of years ago, and told me, Wealth, I like you so much, but I want to tell you the truth that most of the poorest people I've ever met in my life, I know in this life and in this world, are the smartest. That the smartest people she knows and she's met in this world are usually the poorest. At the time she was telling me, I felt it was like an insult, but I took it as a constructive criticism and began to now look at why is it like that? Why is the error that way? And began to now work on the error, right? And one of the things I discovered, which is what I'm going to say, I'm not going to talk about other things, that's a lecture for different, but one of the things I discovered is that those who are successful and very, very rich are because they maximize timing opportunities in the timing and the seasons of those opportunities, right? So that means somebody could be a drug addict, a sex addict, a womanizer, a fool, an idiot, or whatever you claim the person to be, and the person chooses that and knows that this is a season to be so locked in crypto and whatever, and the person locks in so much, and make so much amount of money, and then you, who maybe you're a very spiritual person, you're believing, you are going to be poor. You will be poor. You just be poor for life. That person is going to make so much money and he's going to leave, move on. I know people who come into crypto like in the last bull run season and they've left. The next time they reached out to me and started getting more was in November 2022. November 2022. And most of them now are thinking of asking me, okay, Shifu, when should we start selling off? Some of them are looking at selling off by December. And by December, they'll be out of the market. And to be very honest with you, they've been more super successful than 99% of people in crypto. Why? They understand seasons and timing, right? That's how crypto is built. Crypto is not built to be something that gives daily, day-to-day income. No, it isn't. And this is the problem why some people who are forcing it to do it like that for them and not having it. It is built in to provide what we call seasonal prosperity, just like cash gains, like a land. You're buying a land right now, you know there's a time where it's going to give profit based on what is going to happen. It's in that area. That's the same thing for crypto. That's how crypto is right now. So you need to understand timing and seasons, right? Because if everybody knows that this thing is going to happen, then it's most likely not happen. By the time everybody is saying this is going to happen, that is when it is late. That is when you should not even believe. And that's this is where a lot of people get it wrong. For example, okay, let's look at the 3 days time frame. So in the 3 days time frame, we had this here, right? And then markets peaked here, came down, and then moved up here, right? Did all this, finally came down, moved up, peaked here, and came down. And now we just had a crossover in 3 days time frame. For every time we had a crossover in this 3 days time frame, the market always moved up astronomically. So this means that even in the next 3 days, we are still expecting another move up. So maybe, just maybe, right? Maybe our target may even be hit in the next few days' time. Just maybe, right? I'm not like saying it's going to, but maybe. Well, like I said, it will be hit this week, whether it's in 2 days' time or 4 days' time or 5 days, it doesn't matter. But this week is going to be hit. Now you can see this crossover that's happened here on the 3 days time frame. Then we can now look on the 2 days time frame. There's also a crossover as well. But when you want to look at the macro, we're looking at major time frames. When you want to look at the macro, we're looking at major mega time frames. We're not looking at just any kind of time frame. We're looking at major mega time frames. So we're looking at 3 days, we're looking at the weekly. That gives us the bigger context of what is happening and what should happen. So we're seeing this goes high. So there'll be a lot of opportunities, right? Now, if maybe there are people who trade ICT, right? So even if you even trade ICT, anybody who trade that should have a common sense, except maybe there's a different, I know that those ICT folks, they have there's so many strategies behind how to trade, right? So which can be very, very interesting. But even if you trade it, right, the basic rules of ICT, that's if I'm correct. People, this area, you could take this area like as an accumulation zone, right? Like just take this whole area. That means from July, right? Take it to this place as an accumulation. Then look at this major that has happened here now. See it as a sweep of structure. This is a sweep of structure, right? See it as a sweep of manipulation, whatever you want to call it, whatever term that is used in your trading terminology. Just see it as this, right? I'm using a terminology that I don't use personally to trade to show you what you may not even be seeing. Then when that happens, you're told in that strategy that wait for price to break structure to the upside and retest. Now, if you go to the daily, what happened on the daily? Exactly what I drew here. I drew this on the chart for you guys. I posted a break of structure upside and a retest. And that retest should happen. What happens? It should take it higher. And that's what we're seeing. Price has been going higher ever since. So anybody who did not get in on the first move, you could have got in on the retest, right? Why targeting the upside? As simple as ABC. What more are the people waiting for? So now, if you look at what is going to happen on Bitcoin, the next thing a lot of people are so super interested in is right now is we know Bitcoin. Okay, let's say Bitcoin is going to move up, right? People are going to make a lot of money out of Bitcoin now. It's alt season. They're looking at alt season. So the same way I predicted that there's going to be a slowing down of meme season and being in the BSC, and there will be a heightened results in utility plays, and I gave us 3 utility plays that did extremely well. XFin has done over 1,500% from when I gave it. Those on my one-on-one did over 3,000% from when I gave to them. When I posted, generally everybody still made over 1,500, right? So even people, those who, even if you can't afford to be like directly with me on my one-on-one, you still definitely have made money if you go in. It's over 1,500%, and it will still get on higher, right? And then the second one I dropped did like 3x at first. It came down, then did enough 5x again in the past couple of days. That's cumulative. You add the first 3x and the next 5x, that's 800% already on that second play. And these are BSC plays. The other one as well moved around about 6x or so. Each and every one of them did very well, even in the season when it seemed like memes were dulling. We're all dulling. Now, there's something I also said, which is definitely what you're going to start seeing, is both the utility plays and the means they'll move on side by side, right? One will not like outperform the other, whereby okay, this is not going to be here, and both are going to move on side by side. But that aside, there's been a chain that it seems like the chain has been slowing down because of the attention has been so much on BNB, and we know that chain, and that chain is called Solana chain. Solana seems to have been slowing down because BNB has been outperforming very well. And maybe I would do a video separately about why BNB is outperforming, why it has been outperforming, and why it will still perform very, very well. But that's not going to be for today, right? Let me write it down so I won't forget. A video on why BNB has been outperforming. So let me write there, a video on why BNB has been outperforming and will still do well. I could just do a 2-3 minutes and explain it on the video. But that aside, right? Put that aside now. I want to talk about Solana. Solana is about to blow up rapidly. Attention is going to come to Solana. Attention is going to come to Solana. And the attention that's going to come to Solana will be driven by utility plays on Solana. Utility plays on Solana. So let's look at Solana on technical basis before we begin looking at fundamental reasons. Let's look at Solana. This is the funny thing. The funny thing is that I gave you guys all these trades. Oh, I dropped these trades. Like, I gave these trades publicly. I dropped it. You know, there are some people who are secretly taking the trades, but they are not saying anything, right? They don't engage on. They don't pay homage. They just secretly lock in like thieves. You know, there's a lot of them like that. They are thieves. But it's fine. It's fine. I still know them. I know those who are worth the attention. And this was it, right? So initially, this was when I dropped. I think I dropped this sell on the bull run group initially, which we sold Solana from here, and I said it's going to come down. And I gave limits. I literally gave limits weeks ahead of time. I even dropped those limits on the bull run group then. That this limit is where this market, and this was week before there was any Black Swan event. I gave limits for Solana, limits for 7 different coins, and every one of those limits were picked during that Black Swan event. Every single one of them. Every single one of them. Did I know there would be a Black Swan event? No, I never knew. I just knew that something bad is going to happen. The market is going to retrace, but I never knew this was going to be a Black Swan event. So those limits, every single one of them were picked. I would drop every single one of them on the bull run way ahead of time. Way ahead of time. Between, I think I'm having my 2 last private sessions with them, which I think it should be on it should be, I'll have to check the date. I think it should be this week we're entering, and one and in November as well. Those are like my 2 last private sessions with the bull run group on for the year 2025. So it's a very good session. If you can afford to be in those sessions, it will help you for the rest of this year, the next couple of weeks as well. If you can, do all you can to be there, right? Do all you can to be there. go and sell your house and sleep under a bridge so you can be there to help you, so you can be able to buy more houses after those sessions. Okay, let me make it bigger. Let me make this bigger. Now look at this. Look at this. Sorry. So this was a peak where I said it's going to sell down from. We sold down from here, and then this was when I first dropped. What is this one again? This was when I first dropped. When I first dropped it, this was the first entry. This was the second entry. I don't know. I gave like 3 entries, right? So I don't know. I think I get like 3 entries or so. I don't know why I'm saying 3 or is or 2 entries. Let me just mute all this. I don't know. Or maybe the ones I took personally. But I gave this entry. I gave this entry. These are 2 entries I gave. We are still in profit on both of them. This was the first time it ran way high and it came down again. Then this was when I dropped this for the second time. I'm projecting is actually going to like move up as well. Now let us look on the daily, right? Looking at the 2. So if you look at the 2, sometimes the daily could confuse you a bit, because if you see here on the daily, it looks like it wants to get to peak, right? It wants to get to overbought zone. So an overbought zone, you become very confused. So let's look first and foremost on the weekly, right? And I want us to look from this point on Solana. So this was here, this first movement from Solana. So this is a Shiftonomics channel, right? This is one of the things I think I'll need to like, if I'm going to hold a trading class next year, this is another thing I'm going to like properly teach, understanding Shiftonomics channel, right? This is one of the things I use very, very well, understanding Shiftonomics channel and how many counts you need to understand it, how to know when you're right on it, how to know when it's wrong, and how to incorporate it into your trading, right? Those are like things I personally use myself, right? To know that, okay, at this particular level, this is the pattern for it. So if you look here, this is a Shiftonomics channel, and in this Shiftonomics channel, this is the first peak, right? From here, and I called this too. Peak here, higher high, higher low, a high, higher low, then a higher high, then a higher low as well, right? Which you can see. So there's no reason on earth why Solana should come down to this level. There's no reason on this planet Earth, except the founder of Solana dies, or somebody that's very important in crypto dies. And we're not praying for anybody to die. So if nobody's going to die, then there's no reason on earth why it should come down to this level. It should peak from here and begin moving high, right? So I'm looking at the target I already gave us, right? And then if it breaks it, it begins to move high, high, high. So I could even see like 285, right? To go to even as high as 338, 285 to 338. But it's 285 to 338, maybe in November, maybe in December, don't know. But what matters is definitely going to peak, and we're waiting for a crossover. There's no crossover on Solana. That's why it seems like it's lagging behind, because it hasn't gotten a crossover. But I think Ripple has gotten a crossover, so we're yet to get a crossover on the weekly for Solana, and that's why it's still misbehaving. So on the 3 days, it's still skeptical on this cross. So we need a strong push, right? A strong volume momentum on this to get some like attention on this. On the 2 days, let's check on the 2 days. It's crossover on the 2 days, but it's very, very weak. So it's in a very weak state, right? It's a very, very weak state. I want to see, but this is the thing. There's gonna be a rush on Solana. There's gonna be like what we refer to as the Solana trenches. It's definitely gonna be back, and people are gonna make a lot of money out of Solana again, right? So the kind of wave BNB is having, Solana is about to start having its wave again. And I'm not talking about, so we're talking about the next couple of days into the next week or two. So you're gonna have coins which are gonna be popping up way stronger, very, very, very high, right? Very, very high, right? And it definitely could literally just keep on going way high. There was a coin I gave to those on my one-on-one yesterday. I think that coin is up like 3x already. When did I even give them this thing? I think it's a Thursday. I think yes, for yesterday, Friday. They're up like 3x. I think that coin is on Solana. I'll have to check it later. Check it, but I know it's on Solana. So there's a lot of utility coins attention that's coming on Solana aggressively. So you want to lock in, make money. Yeah. So I think this was it, right? And it's done like 3x from when we actually got in on it as well. But I think it's on Solana. I don't know. I think it should be on Solana. too as well. But if you look at it, so there's a lot of orders, right? That's definitely going to be coming up on Solana. That's definitely going to be doing well, mainly like that. There's one we should be looking at buying in today, which I think I've been looking at for a while. It's still on Solana as well. I'll have to check. Was that's this thing again? Is I think that one is still on Solana too. Sometimes I buy so many coins and I fucking forget their name. I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know what's wrong with me. What's wrong with me? Okay, I'll have to check the name, but I know that Kroken is on Solana and it's definitely going to do well. A particular one can do like 1,000% in the next 4, 5, 7 days as well. Even though we are up some good percentage on that particular one, this in my one-on-one as well. So, but those who are trenching on Solana, you know, you're on Solana, and then you could literally like this. So that's what we're looking out for. Bitcoin, we're looking out for Solana, this too. So the first thing I talked about is the technicals for Bitcoin. The second thing I talked about is the technicals for Solana, and then the attention economy that BNB is having also coming to Solana. That's the second thing I talked about. The third thing I said that even on BNB, it's going to be side by side, both utility and memes. One is not going to be more than the other. They're going to not just going to be on there alone, it's also going to be on Solana soon. Solana is going to start with utilities. So you want to pay attention to utilities before we not start talking about memes on Solana, right? And blend both together, and then it moves up, picks up from there. The narrative just keeps on moving. Big, broad, big, broad, right? There's a lot of money making this season. Take advantage of this season. Lock in this season. Definitely, you're definitely going to make out so much and take advantage of everything going on. Now, let's look at the fundamentals. I want to talk about the fundamentals now. There is an analogy that people are saying, right? That Bitcoin and gold has been going up, and then when gold begins to go down, Bitcoin will now start going up. I've been hearing that analogy from so many persons, right? This is not directed at anybody. This is just for you guys who listen to me. That analogy is bullshit. It's bullshit. It's rubbish. It's baseless. It's trying. These are two different assets. There are two different assets that respond differently to two different economies. The crypto economy is different from the large, vast economy of gold. You can't be comparing both assets. What is Bitcoin compared to gold? Gold is in a different level. It's a different league entirely. You don't compare both of them. You can't even compare both of them. You can't even compare both of them right now. So Bitcoin could be referred to as digital gold because it's just starting out. It could get it's definitely going to get big. So from future, get to 1 million, right? But until Bitcoin gets into, until Bitcoin can capture at least 50% of gold's market share in the world, that is when you can start comparing both of them. You can't. I don't feel like it's baseless, right? So fundamentally, it is baseless. There's no reason why I should add both of them, right? They are two different assets for two different reasons, right? That is number one. Number two, so Bitcoin, we continue moving up, and the gold will also continue moving up. Is there going to be a time where there's going to be a peak? Right, yes. So I think I feel like the next moving up on gold is going to peak somewhere, right? But if you're waiting for it to peak before you think Bitcoin will go up, by the time gold is going to peak, Bitcoin may already be at 120 something thousand already, or 130,000 already, right? And then by that time, gold now peaks, and then Bitcoin will not continue, and gold will start dropping down, and then Bitcoin will now be moving up. Then people who say this thing that they say will now come and say they told you, but they will be wrong. They will be right, sorry, but they'll be right. But them being right would have caused you missing out on the initial move of Bitcoin already. Because at the initial stage, both of them are going to move together until get to a point where it's no longer move. And secondly, you want to look at next week, rates are going to be cut. In fact, if for any reason, obviously every one of us were expecting rates to be cut next week. We're expecting the rates to be cut next week. But one of the things is that even solidifies the reason more than ever is the CPI that are yesterday. All of them was a big miss. It was a big miss on the year to year, the M to M, the major CPI as well. They were all a big miss. that solidifies and strengthens the need for a rate cut. If we get a 0.25 basis point cut, it's definitely going to rally the market. If we get a 0.5 basis cut, it's going to destroy the market upwards. And I mean destroy the market. We're going to have a very strong, aggressive Bitcoin candle that is just, there's the last time we had that kind of candle, that the way the candle is moving like a shit coin. So when that happens, we could get Bitcoin just moving like a shit coin, like a meme coin, just keep on exploding. But even if you don't get the 0.5, if you get 0.25 basis point, which is going to be half of it, Bitcoin will still continually moving up, right? Number three, so the QT, which is quantitative tightening in the economy, is done, right? The government is done with all that. And there's a likelihood and a greater chance that we may see that this week we are entering, we may see the shutdown of the US government being reopened. And then if we get that reopened, it will be very, very, very favorable for the market. Now, when all these things come into play, anything that Trump decides to do about tariff, no tariff, tariff, no tariff, will no longer matter that much. I don't know when he's going to come into agreements with China and stuff. We don't know. I don't think anybody can predict that, because you wake up this morning, he's saying there'll be tariff, the next day no tariff, the evening tariff, next day no tariff, tariff, no tariff. They are just playing ping pong with us. So I think it's a fool's game to be focused on knowing when to end or not end. It doesn't matter. Whenever it ends, what matters is looking at the other factors that will influence the price of Bitcoin, influence these things, where they are getting to, what is going to happen when they get to that place. Looking at these factors is definitely what is going to help you know that, okay, this thing is going to happen, and this at the time is going to happen, right? So we're looking at possibly the US shutdown, maybe it's called up this week. And if it's called up this week, it's very bullish for the market, very extremely bullish for the market. But even if it's not called up this week, we're still looking towards the FOMC rate cut, which is already priced in, and it's definitely going to be priced in more. And that is also very bearish for the dollar, right? Remember, I gave it a forecast on the dollar, what we're looking at for the dollar as well. So if that is priced in and the dollar begins to drop on more, rates are being cut, what happens? The market, gold skyrockets, then Bitcoin as well skyrockets. But the USD.D is definitely going to be that as well. So I think I didn't even show that. Let's go to the Solana screen. So I said something about if Ripple had crossed over. So let's look. I think Ripple have crossed over on the 2 days, right? That's why it's been like a very strong, and this was entry on Ripple initially, and it's trying to cross over on the weekly as well. So it's giving like strong push there, that strength. So now we have strength tomorrow, not today, but tomorrow. Strength will come into Solana tomorrow. So we're looking at this was the chart I posted. This is the chart I posted on X, right? And I shared on the groups as well. This is what we're looking out for. Coming. So this is what we're looking out for. This was, I think I said the breakdown. When there's a breakdown, we should expect a pullback, and we've got a pullback, and then a continuation to like make some lows. So we're looking at that. So even if it decides to dance around there or do some forms of manipulation, whatever it's called, it's definitely like prime to go down. And if it's prime to go down, definitely we've got this like going more like the inverse for Bitcoin. So if this like decides to start going down, then we're definitely going to be having Bitcoin rallying, and then also deciding to like move up or pick up as well. So when you add both of them put together, it definitely gives that on it as well. Okay, sorry, I thought you guys can see my screen. It's showing that now. The screen is up now. It's up now. It's up now. Okay, guys, I want to run, but if you've got questions, you can shoot your questions now, and I can take your questions before I run. If you've got questions, you can shoot your questions before I bounce. Okay. GM Shifu, when do you think ETH memes will have their run? When do you think ETH memes will have their run? Um, I honestly, I don't think I have a clue right now. But one thing that I know for certain, I'm sure, right? What I can say is, um, a lot of attention has been on Bitcoin, and a lot of attention is going to be on Bitcoin for the now time. So let's see for the next 1 week more or two, we're going to have attention on Bitcoin. But as we enter the month of November, alt season is going to be much in the month of November. So November is going to have alt seasons, right? Altcoins are definitely going to rally in November, and definitely it could include some of those coins or assets on ETH, right? But one thing I've learned over time and my time in this space is not to be married to one chain, right? Not to be so married to one chain, like, because sometimes you could be so committed to a particular chain and you miss out opportunities on other chains, on other assets, like um being, should I use the word, being a prostitute, a crypto prostitute, whereby you're not obsessed with only one chain. You switch from this chain to know when to move from here to here, know when to move back from here to here as well. So ETH memes are definitely going to have their fuel, right? And but the kind of opportunities that I think I think there's definitely going to be more opportunities on BSC and Solana than there will ever be on ETH, right? Right now, because of the season we are in the season we are in, right? And that's in terms of opportunities, like um people who want to like turn small amounts to like way big amount. But there's definitely going to be runs and stuffs on ETH, right, in November, but not as massive as this other two, because this two already BS is leading. We're seeing CZ so active, crazily active, and then we're also going to see, like I'm saying now, we're going to see Solana start speaking strongly, and it's going to lead to as well in that regards, but more like utility and utility aspect, because Solana we've got so many JITs and stuff. Shifu, please, can you drop the contract address for me? And also, what's your prediction for WKC this November? I think what you should do is go on the Telegram, type on the search box, type Mists or type my standard. It is going to pop up, right? Type whatever you want to type up on the Telegram there, and it's going to pop up, and then you should be able to get that from there. I think the team they've got marketing promotions and stuff outlined for November, which I think they may be announcing. I don't know when exactly, but I know they're going to be announcing that in November, which should be aggressive to really, really push their token very well along with the season in the market. And also, what's your prediction for WKC this November? So that was the first question. Okay, I'm answering the second one now. What's your prediction for WKC this November? Um, exactly like I said, I think in the other private session I had that time, I believe, this. Let me be plain with you guys. I don't, I don't think. How am I gonna put this? WKC is not a coin that your mind should just be what you can make in the next 1 month. To be honest with you, it's gonna go up, right? It's gonna do well, but if you're just looking at just doing a couple of X's and getting out, you're gonna miss out on the bigger picture. WKC is a coin you want to look out for the next 5 years. The next 5 years minimum. Now, you know what I'm saying. Some people don't have sense that they'll be hearing something else. I'm saying one thing, they're saying something else, which is normal. What I'm saying is, for November, it's definitely gonna do well. It's gonna do smashed. It's gonna smash 100 mil. It's gonna smash 200 mil, because I think it should be around 60, 70, right? It should be smashed above that, right? It should be smashed way above that, and After that, it does extremely well. It does extremely well. So between November, December, it's going to move up very well. It's going to move up above 100 million, above 200 million market cap, above 250 million market cap, right? So that should be some really good exits. But even though it does all that, right, probably, let's say, makes a new all-time high. This is what I think. You don't have to take what I think, right? You don't have to adopt it, because but what I believe and what I have seen and what I know is it's the kind of project you want to look out for the next 5 years. So you make good money, you make good profits, you take out some, and then you wait on the rest. It's something that is you're going to be falling back on, right? You're going to be falling back on from time to time to be taken out. There was a time when I predicted Luna, the coin that wrecked a lot of people in 2020. Is it 2022? I predicted Luna in January 2021, before the run began. In 2021, I dropped Luna at I think below $1. Below $1 when I dropped Luna. And I said this is a 100x token, right? And Luna moved, and when it was moving so, a lot of people in my private groups themselves, when they reached out, then I think it was called the VIP. So, and when they reached out, they were asking, I told them the same thing, that see, you can be selling profit. And then I think it was Sansaro and there are about two persons, Sansaro, which I think Sansaro also gave his testimony, because on the previous YouTube channel, there's a time I did the 1 million series, which obviously we lost all those videos, where I interviewed the few of them who made their first million through the informations I gave. And I think if you listen to Sansaro's, if you ever among the people who listen to Sansaro's testimony, so then you will hear when he mentioned something about how it was Luna he used to build his duplex, right? He has a very big house mansion, he's a family man, and two other persons like that, they built their properties out of Luna. But that was because they were like, it became something like, should I use the word osusu, right? Where they were taking out money from time to time. And I feel WKS is going to be that kind of thing, whereby you're going to be taking out money from it for the next 5 years consistently. But like I say, you don't have to take my word for it, right? Someone said, will you be dropping those Solana plays publicly like you did for BNB? Well, I can't 100% guarantee say yes or no, but one thing I know I'm already doing, which I've been doing, is those privately working with me on my one-on-one, I give them these things very early, right? And if I feel like it, then I decide to share publicly as well. So if I feel like it, fine. If I don't feel like it too, I literally don't. I'm sharing a lot of information already, and out of the information that I'm sharing, maybe it's only like 10 out of 1,000 people who will come and say thank you, Shifu, thank you. Only 10 out of 1,000 persons, right? So that's why I decided to give my attention more to people on one-on-one, because those people are way more appreciative and value my time, my efforts, and informations and energy, right? Because sometimes when things are done free, people don't value it, people don't understand how much time and effort it takes to do all this research, come up with these things, and then try to share these things and believing that it's going to literally do well. So it's being active 247. You see me posting night, morning, neat, and it's a lot of consistency on that part, right? So it is what it is. Someone asks, please don't mind making this me asking this silly question. In this Q4, is the next big one likely to be a new coin or a push up of an existing coin? Very good question. Very good question. Very good question. I'm going to help you by giving you an answer, because I know that you are an airdrop person. So I'll help you by giving you an answer that will help you. Look out for tokens that have done airdrop in the past weeks or months, specifically this year. Projects have launched this year and they have done airdrop, and then you've sold up, they've dumped, blah, blah, blah. You look at those tokens. Now, among those tokens, take a list of them, the ones that are on Binance Alpha. The ones that are on Binance Alpha. So I'm telling you how you filter them, because maybe you don't like 100 or 1 million airdrops. So that if you your first filter is which category has been listed this year, and within this hour will be listed, that have been listed or will be listed, right? That's the first thing. The second filter is, okay, how many of them actually are on Binance Alpha, right? And when you look on the Binance Alpha, how many of them on Binance Alpha that is not yet on spots? Now you're now cutting down the number. So maybe by the time you do this, it may come down to like 20 coins. In those 20 coins is the next big runner already. So that means the answer to the question you said is a push up of an existing coin, but literally also it's still like a new coin, but a new coin has already launched, right? New coins that is actually launched. In terms of I think in terms of old coins, it will just be like I've said, right? The first thing that will shock people is that before those ones they are expecting to remove, those ones they are looking down on will be the ones that are definitely going to first pave the way and stuff and all that as well. I've taken your word already. Thanks for this advice. So priceless. Yep. I believe I've answered enough question already for today. Okay, guys, I wish every one of you the possible bursts for the season, and let's make a lot of money, right?
I've been drinking more alcohol for the past 5 days. Did you check on me? Now did you look for me? I walked in the room as I read and I don't smoke bang. Did you check on me? Now did you notice me?
Oh, nobody will know the paranoia, 'cause I put a smile on my face, a facade you can never face. And if you don't know me well, oh, you won't see how buried I am inside my grave.
Inside my grave, 'cause you see people don't really know you. They don't really know you. 'Cause you see people they don't really know you. They don't really know. I've been drinking more alcohol for the past 5 days. Did you check on me? Now did you look for me? I walked in the room as I read and I don't smoke banga. Did you check on me? Now did you notice me? Holy Father, they try for all my head. I say make you know leave me to go. Holy Father, oh make you try for understand. Yahoo girl no day for you. They know you. Don't really know you. Oh, you see people. They don't really know you. They don't really know. I've been drinking more alcohol for the past 5 days. Did you check on me? Now did you look for me? I walked in the room as I read and I don't smoke banga. Did you check on me? Now did you notice me? I've been drinking more alcohol for the past 5 days. Did you check on me? Now did you look for me? I walked in the room as I read and I don't smoke banga. Did you check on me? Now did you notice me? I've been drinking more alcohol but I don't smoke banga. Did you check on me?